Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle and triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Hello, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Her Version. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I'm speaking with an amazing woman named Tina Kadish. Tina is a life purpose coach, business coach, author, speaker, and trainer. She offers tools and strategies to support women who want to leave the corporate world to create a successful business strategy so they can launch a profitable business. As the author of F.R.E.E.D.O.M, 7 Steps to Thrive in Business, Life and Business, she helps women make their dreams a reality. As a result, her clients are getting their time back in their life, which is priceless. Welcome, Tina. How are you?
Great. Thank you, Sabrina, for having me here. It's always a good time to be here with you.
Yes, I'm so
Amazing
excited to
things
have
you're
you.
doing. Thank
You
you.
are a regular here. I know it's been a second, but you're technically a regular. Tina has been on my podcast before, on my impact panels. So I always appreciate all the goodness that you're learning in your world and then bringing it to us so that we can get some tidbits on how to do life a little bit better than the way we're doing it now.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes,
Yes.
I'm excited to be here and get right into our conversation today.
Yes. By the way, where are you from?
I'm in Connecticut, Danbury, Connecticut, in the United States, and I've been living in Connecticut all my life. Never moved out of state.
I love it. I've lived all over the place in the US. It's funny. I've never been, not funny. I've never been out of the US.
You haven't? Oh, I've
No.
been to Europe and Mexico's part. I've been to Europe. That's about it.
Yeah, still. So it's kind of funny. When I was in my 30s, I was all like, I'm doing so much traveling. But now that I just turned 40, so many of my friends have been out of the country. So now I'm the lame one. It's like, I've moved, but not been out of the country yet. So it's kind of funny.
That's
But
okay.
anyways, I'm excited to jump into what you have going on in your world. I know you have some new stuff that just launched, so I'm so excited to kind of talk more about that. But I want to ask before we really dive in about your journey, the challenges, the struggles that you've gone through.
Okay.
And I'd like to kind of maybe just highlight a challenge that you've gone through in your life, a big one that you wouldn't mind sharing, and then tell us what you learned from that challenge.
All right. Awesome. Challenge. Well, I've had so many challenges in my life. Who hasn't, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I've been laid off from my corporate world. I've been in training and development, and I've been in talent acquisition. And I got laid off from the corporate world many years ago for the first time. So that was, I thought, my biggest challenge. Also went through loss of a marriage. So, being a single mom with 2 kids at the time, and thought that was the biggest challenge. And it's interesting how, as we go through life, we have these challenges. But the biggest challenge was 2 years ago, I lost my daughter to cancer, and 37 years old, my oldest. And that was the biggest challenge. And having gone through life, we all go through life with challenges. But I have to say that that was the biggest challenge that I've had. And I feel that anything that comes my way moving forward will just be a piece of cake, because there's nothing bigger than that, in my opinion, what I've
Yeah.
experienced. But I don't want to minimize everybody else. Your listeners here, to them, this is their challenge. When I lost my marriage, when I lost my job, that's loss.
Yeah.
And but losing a child as a mother, I felt, for me, that was my biggest. And I'll share more about the lesson learned, but I've been a control freak. I really wanted everything to go the way I wanted to go, and life doesn't work out that way. It really doesn't. It
Yep.
really doesn't. So the carpet is pulled from under you sometimes, and you have to navigate through it. You have two choices. You either can take the better road or you can take the bitter road.
Ooh.
And I learned that from someone else that I was talking to who lost a child and a wife in a 2-year period. And that's what I learned. And it resonated with me. And I wrote that in my book about that because we have choices every day in how we can navigate our challenges. And I've decided to take the better road. I have a son, I have other family members, I have a husband, I have people that love me and support me, and I have a business and I want to make an impact in other people's lives. So that for me was a real big challenge, the biggest.
Yeah, definitely. I can't even imagine. Um, while it was happening, were you already in personal development? Were you already kind of reading books and
Yes, yes. And it's funny you say that because I've always been a self learner, reading books, and I'm always reading multiple books at one time. And my daughter, she was a writer, and I would always coach her on mindset. And I've always been a mindset. I coach women on mindset as one of my programs. And my daughter was facing this challenge, and I was coaching her to get through this challenge. So my mindset throughout this whole challenge was, we're going to get through this. There's a reason. I'm very faith based, and I believe that there was a reason. And I believed that there was a second chance, and she had a second chance of life. And I think that sometimes we go through challenges for a reason. And so I was coaching her through the mindset, and I never believed that she would pass away because my mindset was, we're going to get through this. We're looking at options. We're going to find solutions, which we were going for second opinions, third opinions, going through multiple places to find a solution to her cancer. And I never believed that it would happen because I just didn't. I just didn't see it. I was in so denial. And when she passed, I was like, whoa, what had just happened now? What do I do now with this mess?
yeah,
Where is my growth going to be? Where's my development going to be? I've always been always about growing, in my life. And so how do I grow from this experience was my first question to my higher power. So
yeah,
that's what I said that day. And it's still, 2 years later, I'm not going to lie, it's still, difficult. There are days that are better than others.
yeah,
But like I said, I can either wallow in the self-pity and be bitter and angry, or I can do something to help others.
yeah. Do
That's what I
something to
decided.
help others.
Yes, yes. So I wrote a book. But before I wrote my book, I wrote a chapter in a collaboration project and wrote a magazine article about it. And then I finally wrote my own book about our journey because I really wanted to share my message to other moms or dads, that have lost, and how do we navigate through loss. I didn't want it to be a downer. There's many books on grief. I didn't want to do the 5 stages of grief, even though I talked about it in my book a little bit. But I wanted it to be more of, how do we create a legacy? How do we move through a loss in a way that we're celebrating their life? We're creating memory. We're remembering the memories, the good times that we had with that
Yeah.
person, And so very proud of my book. And I've connected with some amazing moms that are part of my circle. I created a Facebook group yesterday called From Pain to Peace, Keeping a Legacy Alive.
I love it.
Yes, because one of my biggest fears has been that, will people remember her?
Yeah.
And I didn't want that. And so I said, I'm going to create a Facebook group. I'm going to continue. But another thing that I've done is I've also joined on the board of an organization called One Tough Cookie.
Oh,
and they help cancer patients and caregivers.
oh,
And I now am on the board, and we're out there going to hospitals, and we're meeting with cancer patients, and we're delivering care packages to that, because that organization really helped me and my daughter, and it's my way to give back for her, and keeping again her memory, her legacy. Who else can I help
yeah,
through this
yeah,
journey
yeah.
that they're going through themselves?
So I have a question for you. That's a greedy question because it's for me. Um, so I love what you're doing. I love everything that you're doing for yourself, for your healing, for your daughter, for the legacy. But at the same time, you're also this, business coach, 7 steps to freedom. How are you? Because I do the same thing. So I coach trauma, narcissistic abuse women. That's my background. But
Mm-hmm.
then I also coach business. So how do you, and I get slack for that because I'm not niching. I have
Mm.
two distinct coaching arenas that I do that are two totally different curriculums. But I get like, if you were just to concentrate on one, then your branding would be different, all this. So how are you doing that? How are you making sense of doing both? How do you find time for both?
Mm.
How does this make sense to you?
So that's a good question. Yes, because I'm a business coach, and
Yeah.
I'm all about finding freedom. And but as I coach my women, so it is two separate books, two separate businesses, in the sense how, I'm working with a branding coach right now, and mingling them together. But what my messaging is to my clients is that life challenges, life and business are together.
Yes.
They're together.
Yeah.
And so in my business, while I was going through this challenge, I had my business. I actually wrote my first book the year after 2021. She died in 2020. So a year later, I wrote my first book, and my second book came out this year. So because I really had that book in the works, but I wanted to really help people find that freedom. But even with challenges, in life, it's part of your business too. So helping entrepreneurs navigate that, in while you're working a business, starting a business, growing a business, you're going to have those challenges. They're going to bring you back. And
Life happens.
life happens. So, how I'm coaching women is finding my niche are women that want to leave the corporate world, want to start a business, and they need that clarity, that direction. So, but I think it's two niches right now that are going on. Women that are lost a child. How do I help them? What resources can I offer them? What motivational tips can I offer? My first book, Freedom, I mean, I do a whole chapter on mindset, because it is about our mindset.
Yeah.
Everything is about mindset. So I do mingle the mindset. Like, as you're going through a challenge, this could be one of your biggest challenge. Let's talk about it. What are some things that you can do to go, work through it?
Yeah.
So that's how I help them. Finding the time, it's really prioritizing. It's really, spending focused time, being intentional with your time. I put everything in my calendar, what I do. It's really managing your time, being intentional, not just winging it, not
Yeah.
just, okay, let's see what I do today. No, it's really being focused
Yeah.
with what you do. And it's really tapping into the why. Why am I doing this? And I help women to figure out their why.
Yeah.
And this is important for me to give back. And I've always said this. And it's funny because I had said this when my daughter passed away. I said, I want to give back to an organization, but I didn't know which organization. And the founder of the organization came to me for business consultation, looking for business advice.
I love
And
it.
that's how we connected. Again,
Oh,
that's how I said, I want to be on your board. And she said, I would love to have you on the board. So that's how business connected with this project.
yes.
So they do
Wow.
happen. They can happen together. It's the branding, like my branding and all that, but people will see that because both of my books are on my website. People see that side of it as well. I do, different events, but I'll always share both stories. That as we're out there growing, and as we're out there wanting to start a business, changing careers, whatever it is, you're going to have challenges.
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
how can I help you?
What's your thought process as far as being that vulnerable and sharing a personal part of your life? Do you feel like that has helped you or hurt you?
Well, that's great. You said that because I've always believed that being vulnerable was a weakness,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to share. And with surrounding myself with the right people,
Yeah.
you have to feel your feelings, and it's okay to be vulnerable. People need to hear just what you're doing, your stories. Everybody needs to hear their stories because you just don't know what someone else is going through. And if you don't share it and be vulnerable, being authentic, being transparent. I'm not saying to be out there all the time and sharing, your story, but people want to hear it. People want to hear it, and I'm going to feel my feelings. I'm not saying that I'm going to, cry all the time when I talk to someone or be, oh, poor me, poor me. No, how can I help you
Yeah.
to move through this?
Yeah.
Really being true to yourself, because you can't hide it. You can't, shove it under the carpet. Oh, it's going to be okay. And that's something I've had to learn myself. Got to let it out. Got to feel your feelings. And if you're not having a good day, it's okay that you're not having a good day.
Yeah.
It's okay. And forgive yourself. Give yourself grace that it's
Definitely.
okay. It's okay to be that way. And so that's something that I've had to learn with with this loss, with this challenge. I've always been considered by others strong. I've got courage. Oh, nothing gets Tina down. Tina's
Yeah.
resilient. Tina's resilient. Tina's strong. In my own family, they say, God, Tina, you can just get through anything.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, it's hard, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to wallow in it every day. But it's okay if I do want to wallow and have a crying fit. Let me tell you, I've
Yeah.
had many crying fits.
I bet.
Okay. But this is what life will give us. And, one of my coaches, one of the things I was feeling really uncomfortable with was writing this book. I didn't want to make money off of a personal tragedy.
Okay.
And I really felt unauthentic. I didn't feel good about it. And in talking to my coach, he said, let's shift your mindset now. Let's talk about that. Think of the women, the moms and the dads you can help,
Yeah.
because there are people out there that need to hear it.
Yeah.
And one of the things we did, my coach, he's located in Texas, and I donated books for the Uvalde, Texas um, kids that passed away, unfortunately, in Texas. We donated books, and he lives in Texas, and we donated some books that he's going to bring to the school that could help a parent who lost a child, can't even, the way they died, younger than my daughter. And it was a shock and sudden. My daughter had 8 months of going through it, but I never thought she would pass away. And so my heart goes out for those parents.
Wow.
Any parent today, anytime I hear someone lost their child,
Yeah.
I feel it in my heart. I just can so relate to it
Wow.
because I've
Yeah.
gone through it myself.
Yeah.
So I can really relate to that. And so, but there's people that have come to me and said, because of your book, I'm able to talk about my loss, or I'm able to get out of bed after 6 months. And I
Yeah.
said, wow, I didn't realize that. So you just never know who you're going to touch with your stories.
Yeah. I think it's also important to recognize, a lot of times I think individuals see on social media people airing their laundry,
Mm,
but they're airing it in like a negative, passive aggressive type of way. And I think it's important that we can all learn from your story if it's presented in a way to teach.
Exactly.
And I think that that's what you're doing is and and same with me, is we're not presenting it in a way of trying to hurt anybody or trying to make money or trying to um air our laundry. We're doing it in a way of, hey, this is what I've been through. If you've been through something similar, I lived. This is how I
Hmm.
lived through it. This is how I got through it. This is how I'm getting up every single day. This is how I can be on a podcast with the Her Nation and can speak about it without bawling my eyes out and being a wreck. These are the
Exactly.
steps. This is the book. These are
Hmm.
the steps that I took. Here is a book that can show you and explain to you the mindset that I have developed in order to get to this point in my life. And that's valuable.
That is valuable. And in my book, I have reflection questions. I talk about, creating a legacy. I talk about mental strength, because that was something that I'm really going through, is having the strength to get through this every
Yeah.
single day, when there were days that I wanted to just commit suicide,
Yeah.
many days,
Oh,
but it got me through. So
yeah.
the strength, got me through, and just like, okay, I got this. I could do this. I'm gonna get through this somehow, some way. Give me strength, God, because I'm gonna get through this. Don't know how, but I will. And that held me through. And having a great support system, family, my daughter had an amazing community of friends. Their mothers got me through. Yeah, I had such a community during, after, and to this day, that some of her girlfriends were close with, we are still connected with, that reach out to me. It's amazing. It really is amazing. And that is something I talk about in my book, is that surrounding yourself with people, not isolating yourself. And because it's so important to be there with loving people, you
Would you
know.
say that's one of the steps?
Yes, yes, it is one of the steps that I would say, is really having a community of people. I even worked with a grief counselor afterwards. I went to a Bible study. I wanted to really get more into the Bible for me, they worked. They worked. And then I was like, okay, not with, I'm still very spiritual and I read the Bible. However, the grief counselor, it was okay. I wasn't feeling it at the time. I think I did it too soon,
Yeah.
right after. I wasn't ready. And so, but in my book, I talk about having a voice, that we need to tap into our power, really expressing our voice. One of the things that I did during the journey was share, being more of an advocate of our wellness, of our health. And I think that is so important. My daughter having ovarian cancer, she had a lot of health. She never had health challenges, but her mindset was a challenge. She was a heavy smoker. She was depressed. She wasn't in a good space before being diagnosed with ovarian. And she wasn't grateful for what she had. And
Wow.
she realized during the journey, because she wrote many articles that I have and I share them, is that she realized how her life was great before the cancer. And she even
Wow.
asked herself, did I create the cancer with my
Yeah.
the way I treated myself? Not being healthy with her eating habits, a heavy smoker, and depressed and stressed out, but she had a good life. And I really believe that this happened because it was gonna give her a second chance. But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow. What a testament to those that can start making some changes now.
yes, and I put in my book too about being grateful, gratitude.
Yeah.
There are days you're not happy with where you are, what you have, but you know what? You can be gone. My daughter, wrote an article about in a blink of an eye, and she wrote this: in a blink of an eye, everything can change. So on November 1st, 2019, when she had her hysterectomy
Yeah.
and was diagnosed with stage 3C ovarian, that's how her life changed. And in 1 year, she passed away. She lost her job the day before. She was closing on a condo where I'm living right now. I'm living in her condo, and to help, had to go through probate and all that stuff, which is done, and having to go through that.
Wow.
And so being grateful every day for whatever, any little thing, it's, being alive, waking up every day is something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my daughter wasn't grateful many days. She wasn't grateful where she was. And she would actually tell me, Mom, can you just stop the mindset stuff?
Yes.
Can you just like let it go? Just take a chill pill, Mom. Just
Wow.
chill. And I was trying to help her because I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. And she wasn't fighting enough.
Yeah.
She said she was, but I believe that she might have given up
Yeah.
because we were going through many, many different options. Chemo wasn't working. They
Wow.
told us that. But then, I found, alternative remedies to help. And I thought that was going to work, and nothing worked because, at the end of the day, there's a higher power and we're not in charge, and there's a plan. And that for me, surrendering and trusting.
Yeah.
And I put that in the book as well, because we have to surrender. Sometimes things are not going to work the way
Yeah.
we want them to. And we have to trust the process. I'm still figuring out what is my purpose, more to come. I see more happening, helping, others through this, book signings and talks. And one of the things I do want to do in early 2023 is a virtual summit. I do want to bring in speakers,
I love that.
about this topic. And
Yeah.
I created the Facebook group yesterday. Like I said, I want to keep this alive, keep it going. Don't know where it's going to end up. I'm open to where the road takes me.
Yeah.
I really don't know. And being on this podcast with you, and, been in your community, and you have so many great stories that people share
Yeah.
to you, you yourself, your story as well.
Yeah.
You just don't know who you're going to help and touch.
Exactly.
You just never
Exactly.
know. You just
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Just looking at people, you can't
No.
tell, what they've been through. Some people you can tell they've been through something.
Yes.
But you don't know what. And then there's other people that have done the work and they don't carry it around with them like that.
That's right. Because you have to do the work. I mean, we have to do the work. We have to get through our feelings, and, there's always going to be a trigger that comes up. And, there's moments that, I, like other moms that have daughters. My daughter and I had a great relationship, and we traveled together. We talked multiple times. She was my friend. And it was difficult. I have a son, but sons are not the same as daughters. For those of you that have sons and daughters, he's a great son. He lives close by. He's there. He loves, we have a great relationship. But daughters, like, we would just talk about anything, just
Yeah.
basic shit. And it was just nice. It was really nice, and I miss that,
Yeah.
but then I come back to the good things. We traveled together. She loved history
Mhm.
and loved to write. She was a writer. And so I remember those moments, our holidays together. We loved Christmas, traveling to New York City together, seeing the tree. And I have great pictures of us together. And that's what I hold on to. You're really putting a smile on my face when those memories come up. And I talk about that in my book, is keeping those memories alive. You know, tap into that, and that'll get you through the day.
Mhm.
What are some things you can remember, and write them out, write it down, journal it. So in my book, I have, pages of journaling that you can, reflect. And I have some questions in there that can help you.
That's
Hopefully.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes. What would you say is the number one lesson you've learned about life?
The number one, be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace, and forgive yourself if you've done things haven't worked out, but I think that is what's more than one. I know there's multiple ones, but I think really is that belief in yourself.
Yeah.
Really is important, and be patient. I'm not a patient person. I haven't been, and patience is not one of my strengths, but I've had to learn patience over the years. Things don't happen the way we want them to happen. So I've
Yeah,
had to really, yeah, patience, I would say.
definitely. When you're saying to have belief in yourself, at what point can we relax our shoulders and recognize that we're good enough?
I think looking at successes you've had in your life, your achievements, and going back to that you have done good things, and looking at your wins over the years and say, wow, I am I am good. I'm good enough. I've done well. More to come. I always believe don't ever stay resting in your laurels, and
Mhm.
always growing. Because remember, I believe in growth. We have to grow. But at that point, you say, I've done some good things. I'm good enough. I can do this. Believing in ourselves instead of comparing ourselves to other people, because that's something that I've done over the years, is comparing myself and thinking that other people are more successful than me. When we don't know other people's stories, how did they get to where they are today?
Yeah.
We don't know the backstory, the hours that they put in to get to where they are. All right. I might not have put in the hours. I may not have, I'm starting at a different place, So where I am right now, I am good right now where I am. Every day, what can I do to help someone, impact, make a difference, grow myself, learn something new? I always believe, what can you do 1% more every day?
Yeah.
But really it's meditating on it, journaling, these are all the things that we need to do to really help us. If some of us are feeling, how do I believe in myself? How do I get there? Because a lot of those insecurities come up. I had, a lot of insecurities, and who doesn't, and, one of the things I've had to go through with this latest loss is forgiving myself. Did I do everything I needed to do to help her?
Yeah.
Was it enough? Was
Yeah.
it enough? And I had to really think back of everything I did
Mhm.
to come to this point today that, yes, I did. I
Yeah.
did enough.
I
I
love
did
it.
enough. And I remember all the things that I did. And my daughter, even in one of her articles that I found after she passed away, she said, my mom and my brother did everything that they could do to help me.
Wow.
And after I go, because she probably knew she was going to go, she said, I don't want them to feel guilty
Oh.
because they
Oh.
tried. They did. I mean, she said that. And we did. And my son will share that with me, that we did everything to save her. So that was wow, like reading this that she wrote, that I found, was, oh my God, she never told me that. She never said that to me, Mom. All she would say to me was, Mom, I'm so sorry that you're going through this, that no mom should have to go through this. And I'm like, don't worry. We're going to get through this.
Yeah.
We will get through this. We will find a solution, because you're not going to outlive me. No mom is going to outlive their child. But it did. It did. And, it's difficult, but I got to really believe that I'm enough. And I do. I really do believe to this day that we did everything. And I know that where she is right now, she's proud of what we're doing. She's proud of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And her friends say to me, wow, you're doing such amazing things. And I mean, there's family members today, they can't even read my book.
I bet.
They can't even open it up.
Yeah.
And they said, how did you write such a book? And I said, it was my healing. I'm
Yeah.
typing and I'm crying and I'm
Fine.
typing. It was my healing. It was my healing. It was one of the ways for me to heal, to get the story out that maybe it could help somebody else. And finding the right words, the title of the book, an image, the heart in my hands. That wasn't my hand, but it was having a heart in a hand. It is so, it just came to me
Yes.
one day, like, what image can I have? And on the back of the book, I have a picture of the both of us on her last birthday that we did for her.
Yeah.
Not realizing it was going to be her last birthday, but we did a birthday party for her. So it was amazing birthday. She felt really good. And it was a great day. It was a great day. And I remember that. So it was good memories. So that, again, getting back to, we have to remember the memories that we had with the loved one.
Yeah.
And that's what gets me through. That's what really keeps me going and going to help others. Like, who can I, who wants to hear not my story, but how can I help you get through this? Like, one of the women today that is in my circle, she lost her daughter. Today is 6 years that her daughter passed away. And it was 9 years of going through a cancer journey. I'm like, wow, 9 years. That's a long time. Mine went through 8 months of it.
Wow.
It was a short period of time.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more time, but that didn't happen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what was your daughter's name, by the way?
Daniela.
Daniela.
Yes.
How'd you guys come up with that name?
It's funny. When I was pregnant with her, I said it's going to be a girl. And I was hearing the name Daniela back then. It was a more common name. We're Italian. And I said, I love the name Daniela. And I said, it's going to be Daniela. And sure enough, it was a girl. It was just amazing. And, but yeah, it was, we've gone through years of challenges, mother-daughter, the mother-daughter battles.
Sure.
But we came back together and we had quite a few years of really being close, that's again, being grateful. I was so grateful to have had that relationship with my daughter, because there's relationships out there, mother-daughters, that probably are not good right now today.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
And how do they come together? And my daughter and I came together, and I'm so glad that we did, because I think that would have been the worst thing if we weren't able to. Or, the day she passed away, I was with her in the hospital, and it was during COVID. Remember, she didn't have COVID, but she was in the hospital when COVID first hit.
Wow.
I couldn't see her for over a month.
Wow.
And then finally to get to see her. And then she died when COVID was going on, and they wouldn't allow me to be with her. And I fought to stay with her.
Yeah.
And I won. And I'm glad I did, because she died when I was there in the hospital. So she was there with me, and we had a great evening before, spent the night there. And I'm so glad I did that. That gives me such relief that I was there. And I know there's many stories I've heard of people that they haven't been with their loved one.
Yeah.
When they passed away, and everybody that lost somebody during COVID.
Yeah.
And so I was grateful for that. I really was, that I had that opportunity, that our last time together was watching one of her favorite sitcoms on TV. Big Bang Theory. I don't know why she liked Big Bang Theory, but she did.
I love it.
And we watched that. So it was a great evening. It really was. Not knowing she was going to go the next day. I really didn't, but I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, definitely. Can you show us your book?
Yes. So, From Pain to Peace, a mother's heartbreaking journey through losing a child. And I have a picture of her. Oh, hold on a second. Okay. Of her and me in her last birthday. And it's available on Amazon. Anybody who wants to grab a copy, know someone that went through this. A loss is a loss. It could be, like I said, a sibling, a child. Parents. I mean, there's kids that I know that have lost a parent when they were young, and going through life without a parent.
Yeah.
and how difficult that was. So this book, although because I'm a mom losing a child, that doesn't mean that you have to be a mom losing a child to grab a copy,
Yeah.
because there's many lessons in here that can apply across the board for someone that's lost. I have, a couple of friends of mine that lost their parent at a young
Yeah.
age. And because of my book, they were able to really like, oh, wow, I could resonate with this. This is really something that I've learned myself,
Yeah.
and thank you for inspiring me to get back to that or remember, so it's hearing those stories from people
Mm.
that I like hearing, and I feel good that it's happening with people.
Yeah. I think what's so great about this story is kind of what we were talking about in the beginning, where you are a businesswoman and life happens.
Exactly.
And what a great testament to individuals who have this desire to leave their corporate job, have this desire to build a business, to be an entrepreneur, but they have things going on in their life, just like you.
Yeah.
And it's holding them back because they're like, I have to wait until,
Something.
because there's always something.
There's
There's
always
never
going to be
a good
something.
time. There's
It's
never a
never.
good time. And even if there is this glimmer of the perfect time and you just happen to leave corporate America, jump into entrepreneurship, and you have something is going to happen during
Exactly. It is
that
going to happen.
transition. Yes, yes,
Absolutely. I mean, I'm working my business while this
yeah,
is going on. I'm working from a laptop in the hospital,
yeah,
helping patients, helping clients,
yeah,
scheduling calls, being, so life goes on, continues,
yeah,
you know, um, we can't just stop. I mean, yeah, you can stop for a day or two. Like you have to, prioritize, like,
yeah,
however, business still continues
yeah,
through life,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
So you can't put your desires and your dreams on the back burner forever. There's never going to be a lull of like a long enough time to make you feel comfortable to take that step.
Right,
You have to just take the step and realize that there's people like you who did it. And because there's people like you who did it, who are out here speaking, writing books, sharing their story, working a business, that they can do it too. I think that's
right,
awesome.
right. They can do it too, So, and that's the thing that life is not going to be perfect to start
Yeah.
something. And we always make excuses. Well, when this is, the right time, I can't do it right now. The kids are little. Oh, my spouse doesn't want me to leave. All these excuses. The
Yeah.
money, I'm not making, I need to make the money before I start a business. Like, are you going to get there? you know
Yeah.
um yeah, no, that's a very, very important point that you made,
Yeah.
because and I'm glad that you reinforced that, because that's something that I share with people. It's like, it's never going to be a perfect time. So when is the right time?
Yeah.
When is it going to be the right time?
Yeah.
You're still waiting. You're
Yeah.
still waiting,
Yeah.
you
It's
know
almost like you're proving in real time. It's almost as if the pain, what is it? Pain? What's
oh the the
the
book that From Pain to Peace.
from pain to peace is almost like your business. And then the 7 steps to freedom, you
Yeah.
coaching entrepreneurs, is almost like you coaching people on how to do what you're doing over here. It's like perfect.
Yeah, that is such a good point. I know that's a very good point. Yeah, because I mean, I'm helping you, because the Freedom book, The 7 Steps to Thrive, is about doing the inner work
Yeah.
that stops us.
Yeah.
Okay. And we do have pain. We do have pain.
Yeah.
Okay. We have pain in our careers. We want to leave, and we're
Yeah.
not. And we want that peace at the end of the day. We want peace
Yeah.
in our careers, in our life. And
Definitely.
we can get there. We can get there. you
Definitely.
know but we won't get there if we don't do the work.
Yeah.
We don't take action. Just sitting down, wallowing, or making excuses, sitting on the couch is not going to get you there.
Yeah.
It's not going to get you there.
Exactly. So tell us what we can find on your website, lifeisideal.com.
Yep. Lifeisideal.com. Learn more about my programs. Learn about, I offer a free gift, a 5-step exit strategy. If anyone is looking to leave the corporate world, there's a 5-step exit strategy that I offer as a freebie. I also offer a 30-minute, clarity call. If anybody wants to chat, let's connect and, learn more about you and how I can support you in any way. So would love to hear from your, listeners here. If this resonates with you, let's get on a call and chat.
Yes.
No sales pitch. It's not a sales pitch. It's connection, conversation to learn about you. And if it's right for you, feels right, then let's make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And then where are you most active on social media for those that want to follow you?
I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay.
I'm on my personal page and LinkedIn a lot, as well as my two. I'm on Instagram. Everything goes on Instagram as well, but I'm mostly on Facebook and LinkedIn.
I love it. That's the same with me too.
Yeah, those are the two.
Yeah. I have the other ones, but I'm not like as active in them.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. I feel like it's good to be on multiples, but I feel like most people do kind of like hover in one or two.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you on that.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Well, this has been absolutely phenomenal. I so appreciate you being here, sharing your story. Congratulations on the book. So exciting. And I love all the work that you were doing in this arena. I think that it's so needed. And I think people need to be reminded that life, yes, sad. Yes, sad. And, we need to keep moving. We need to keep moving, and we have to remember that our dreams and our desires were put in us for a reason.
Exactly.
The things that we're supposed to accomplish, the pulls that we have in our world towards whatever that is, we're put there for a reason, and we can't allow sadness to just consume us. It's like what you said, the bitter
or better. Yes,
better
or bitter. Yeah, better or bitter road. Yes, road. Exactly. Yes. And that applies to anything. I mean, we can be bitter in life. Yeah. With everything that we've gone through, or we can take the better road and do something about it and make a change.
Yeah.
That's, that resonated with me when someone said that. And I was like, that is such a great point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That living life that way.
Yeah.
We have two choices.
Yeah.
Imagine at a crossroad. We're at a crossroad.
You have a choice.
We have a choice.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having me here today, Sabrina. It's always great to be here with you.
Yes, I agree. So before I close up here, any closing thoughts?
For those of you listening in, just believe in yourself and keep doing it. And you deserve success. And keep doing it. And you can't do it alone. You need to surround yourself with the right people. Yeah. Always.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you resonated with Tina and all the goodness that she shared today, make sure you connect with her on her website, lifeisideal.com. And then you can also find her at Tina Kadish, Kadish, on Facebook and LinkedIn predominantly. I love it when our listeners connect with our guests. So please reach out. Throw a comment in her direct message and let her know that you heard this, it resonated with you, and let her know how she can help you. So thank you so much for joining us here on Her Version. This community is expanding every single day and is filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. If you have an amazing story to share, make sure you reach out to us here or at hernation.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others. As always, do